Hey everyone, it's Dustin with TechMD. Today we're going to be fixing a Nokia 8 Sirocco. Now this device was extremely hard to get a hold of for this screen. In fact, we ordered one and they decided to send us a Nokia 8 and not the Sirocco. So about 2 months later, we got it. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Am I pronouncing that right? Oh, the customer disappeared. Anyways, I'll have it in the tag below here to tell you exactly what it is. It's a very unusual phone. I've never even heard of it, but might as well open it up and crack it open and replace this screen here, and we'll get that going here shortly. Okay, so we're going to start off with warming up the glass back here. I use an Iflex tool to dig into glass instead of like a razor blade or suction cups, anything crazy like that. And if you look at the timer on this, you'll see how long it takes to warm it up. And just nice circles around the device. We're going to try to get that warm to the touch. Probably hot to the touch depending on how difficult it is to get in the device. But I like to warm them up a little bit more toastier, as the Galaxy 9s like them toasty to get in there. They're very glued down. Okay, so that's to the point where it's kind of burning my hand. And that should be nice and hot. Just cut a very small amount in here. Don't go too far and deep here. So we got a little loose right by the home buttons. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it feels like it's not taped in at all right there. Looks like there's a microphone hole there too. This is a very unusual cut here. So I'm just gonna pop it up here. And let's see inside. Okay, there's our fingerprint reader cable. And it is a Phillips. So take your 00 Phillips screwdriver. I use a Wow Stick from Mentor. Here it's available in the United States. You can get it on Alibaba and whatnot. So I got the 2 screws here. Take some tweezers and see if we can lift this out carefully. There we go. I'll only have to do 1 screw for that. Take off any residue of adhesive. And we're just going to set that aside there, and let's start unscrewing everything. Although the cable that we need is right there, so we might not have to unscrew the whole unit, which would be nice, but we'll find out. Seems like they're all 00 screws. That one's a really long one. Just organizing things in the way that works for my brain. Lots of screws. Okay, now that we've tacked every screw here, we probably should use plastic tools to remove that, like this. Just moving this up here and seeing if we can find anything that is impeding our path, or if it's just connected. Yep, it's just glued down. Okay. Okay, that's inside the phone here. See if we can replace the front screen without removing everything. Boy, that's really close. Probably not. So that's the details inside. Battery disconnect looks like it's right here, so we're gonna just disconnect. And yeah, unfortunately, it looks like I have to remove the whole motherboard just to replace the screen, which really sucks. It looks like there's 3 different daughter boards, or well, 2 different daughter boards and a main board. That is different, for sure. Okay, this is a double cable here. Go ahead and pop these out. Just move them out of our way. And pop off this flex. It says main or 1 main. Okay, that is connected to the same board, so we're just gonna, oh wait, no, it's weaved all the way around. Well, we'll see here if we can leave it on. All right, now we need to remove these standoffs, which if you're wondering what bit that is, it is a CR-V 2.5. We'll see how this board pops out. It'd just be nice to us and just pops out. That would be great. Looks like I'm gonna have to pop out this black cable, actually. Just unweave it right there, boom, it's out. Okay, something's holding into the board here. Oh, there's another screw I missed. I'm just putting these extra screws just over here. That way we don't mix them up with the other ones. See what happens here when we, oh, okay, so the whole thing comes out. Just like that. And now we got the access to the LCD cable. Good. Now we just have to warm it up and separate the screen and glue on the new screen. And if you're wondering, this mat is really heat resistant. So you want to warm up the whole entire screen because it's all glued down. You just get it where it's hot to the touch. Get some heat resistant gloves on. And just take your Iflex tool and just dig underneath. Ooh, this is really glassy. See if we have any extra components on the screen. No, we don't. Okay, let's see how Nokia does it here. Looks like they put a line of tape here, and on top of the screen it's all tape or some kind of form of glue. Let's see here, what is this? It's tape. So some of my past recent videos I've been recording on my Note 8. I decided to start recording on my iPhone XS Max. I'm hoping the quality is just as good with less cuts, because the Note 9 can only record 5-minute videos at a time, and it looks like the iPhone can record longer videos. The raw uncut video is literally 400 megs a minute, which is quite a bit. But hopefully the quality comes in clear. This frame feels very flimsy. Especially where the buttons are. Okay, let's get some tape in there. So just some double-sided black adhesive tape. Tacet tape also works the same thing. Just getting it all the way to the edges here and into the groove. use my X-Acto knife here. And cut to the edges so the LCD cable sits in there. I'm just cutting around the corners here, getting this tape to lay down. What do you think of the process so far?
Detailed.
Yeah. Think you could do it?
No.
Not even after watching the video?
No.
Alright, just getting some thinner 1mm tape here so we can get around the smaller spots. Try to use titanium everything. I got titanium scissors and tweezers. Just more durable, it's gonna last you longer. So we got a really thin part here. Can either cut tape or can use some thinner stuff, but my thinner stuff is not the thickness that we need for this. It's too thin. So what we're gonna do here is just gonna go ahead and cut it out, pull it off, and then cut it out. Okay, so now that's sitting down and already sticky, we're just going to cut along the sides here. Just get in there and cut all the way down. Obviously, if you had pre-cut adhesive, it would make life a lot easier. I'm just going to pull off all the tape here. Okay, looks like we missed a spot right here, so we'll put some more tape right there. I'm gonna see if this is sticky at all, and it's not. The old one was not, so it had no adhesive support right here, so there's no need to put adhesive, supposedly, but I don't trust it because it has such a thin body. I'm just going to put some regular tape down, and obviously we want to run your finger across and grab any shards. And of course you're going to lodge it in your fingers, but it's better than lodging it to the back of the glass, causing it to have more problems than you would prefer to have. The goal is just to get them in between the holes. You're not going to get every single shard, but you don't want even the smallest pieces on the screen. Okay. I did not put enough, big enough piece there. Okay, so I can't put anything down here because that's where all the cables are. So I'm not. A lot of times people don't realize when they drop their phone that they actually bend the frame a little bit. And sometimes, be careful not to puncture the battery. Sometimes the screen, no matter how glued down you put it, is not going to sit down. So that's why recently, anytime I have to glue down a screen, I've been reinforcing it with either Gorilla Glue or Super Glue. Now I use the liquid 10-second Super Glue, and I've used Gorilla Glue in the past, but the liquid Super Glue has been working really well. And I forgot this top part here. Just get that up there. Notice how I'm using the white tape here. This is not the super strong black tape. This is more, not as aggressive, so if I do need to pull it off, I can. You could have tested it earlier. I didn't really think about it. Just making these videos sometimes gets me distracted. Okay, so we're gonna get the super glue out. Okay, and that's what I use, the super glue gel. And you have to shake it up really good, it says. We're just going to check here and see if there's any leftover residue, which there is. So make sure you don't scratch the screen. But sometimes the Chinese, like I said, they pull them from the original phones and they leave residue on the screen itself. Get this other last piece. Be very careful not to damage those cables by doing this. Okay, now we got a nice surface here. Make sure there's no tape across the lens, and the lens look clear. So I'm gonna just look through it in the light. So it doesn't look clear on this side, so I'm just gonna clean it real quick. Check again. Okay, so it is dusty inside, and usually they tape it, but for some reason they didn't. And so this would affect the selfie performance. So it's best to take a microfiber rag. You know, you get this at Walmart and clean it. Just be very, very careful, gentle. Okay, so looking through the lens now, through the light, just like this. You just look through it, through a light, and then you can see if it's clean or not. And it is now. The last thing you want to do is super glue a screen on and it's not clean, because you're not going to remove it off, and then you'd have to clean it and remove the lens, and it'd be a big hoopty-ha. So I'm just cleaning off any extra residue from the super glue, so that way we can get some nice clean squirts out of it. Oh, yeah, that'll work. So once again, I am just doing this to reassure that this screen stays on. We travel to the customer, and it's not good for us to have to travel back for a problem. And so lifting is one of the most common things on a glued down screen, which is just quite irritating. So you just put it in a very small dab, and you got to do this quickly because this is super glue. Very small dab. Do not want to get it in the cables, but just enough to guarantee hold. You got like literally less than 10 seconds to get that screen sitting on there flush. And so sometimes I have to remove that out of the way. Okay, now we're gonna put pressure down and hold it down. Let's put my rag down. I'm just putting a rag down somewhere else and putting clamping pressure on the screen for 20 seconds. Okay, it looks like it's sitting all down nice and flush. which is critical. Of course, my background is full of glass, so what I'm going to do is just take some of the previous packing, set it down on it, and that way we're pretty much guaranteeing the screen is not going to be getting scratched while we're putting it all back together. Okay, I got some super glue on my hands and it's driving me nuts.
It's all part of it.
Yeah. And I have to pull that back off because I forgot to put this cable in. All these cables need to go around this way. And so the easiest way to push these cables in is sometimes just line it up with tweezers. You can try pushing it with your fingers or your tweezers. Just careful not to slip if you're doing that. So this white cable looks like it's going to go up and around. I'm just pushing it backwards a little bit so it can sit on that clasp, or whatever you want to call it. This is really hard to not really get close while I'm filming, so my head doesn't get in the way, but I have to do my best here. So I'm just kind of just laying down my eyes next to the board here and looking as close as I can to see alignment. There we go. That's one. And this is the second one here. Okay, we got both antenna connections connected. They look like they're sitting in the right spot. LCD is connected. And then we're going to screw in these 2 screws for the board. Okay, we're gonna get our standoff screw. And that one is not really magnetized very well. Okay, and that's in. And we can put the battery. Nope, this is the last thing to remove or put back in. Battery connector first. Then this. I usually like to clip in all the cables after the battery, but there's still more cables to clip in anyway, so who cares? So overall, I think this phone is a little bit more complicated than a Galaxy S8, but not too much more. It's more time consuming for sure. Galaxy S8, you got to move over a little bit more items when you're working with a LCD full assembly, but that's about it. Okay, so my iPhone XS Max literally said it ran out of room, even though I have 10 gigs left. I don't know. That's really annoying. So I couldn't finish up the video on my XS Max, but we're going to finish it up here on the Note 9. So the video might look a little different. This is going to be interesting. I'm sure my video editor will just love me. Isn't that right, Christian? I'm gonna have to switch file formats in the middle of the video. Okay, see why it's important to keep all your screws organized? Then you know exactly where they go. Just like the Google Pixel, I should have been a little bit more organized. There's so many layers to that phone. This phone is way easier than the Google Pixel 3. Careful not to strip them with the screwdriver. Looks like this one hole does not want to accept this screw. So we are probably just going to leave it stripped. That's fine. You don't have to have every blasted screw on your thousands of screws on phone. So what we're doing here now is just removing the adhesive tape off the side. Well, I guess we could turn it on and test it while we're doing that. Everything looking pretty good. Okay, we got internet. Everything's looking pretty good. We got noise. And I'm going to dial myself. Dial the Las Vegas number, 7213, I think. Test. Okay, the ear speaker's working. Test. Alright, that's working. We're just going to turn this back off and then put the fingerprint sensor back on. So, next step is just pulling off all this old adhesive tape. Just careful not to break the back glass while doing it. If it's giving you struggle, just warm it up a little bit. But it seems to roll off with your finger, so it shouldn't. Okay. So we don't scratch that, we're gonna definitely do this. Yeah, my Note 9 has 128 gigs, but my iPhone, I want to spend more than $1,100 on that thing. They wanted $1,500 for the biggest gig. It's way too much. Like this was already $1,170 after tax. Just nuts. These phones cost so much. And how much is this phone?
It was about 900 Australian, so that was probably about 600-700.
Is this phone more popular in Australia?
I think they were getting them cheaper, and so it was competing with the Galaxy and the iPhone there, but
If it's popular over there, I'll probably have some Australian viewers trying to figure out how to repair this phone. I don't think there was any videos on YouTube about this phone, but I mean, I don't remember checking or not.
I mean, had I to do it over, I might get the Galaxy instead. I like the lens on it, but
The camera?
yeah, it does have, like, you know, the special components that you have to plug in. It doesn't have like a normal headphone jack. It's, you know.
Oh, they got rid of the headphone jack, huh? Yeah, all the manufacturers are really doing that right now. Anyways.
It's hard to get stuff for it just because it's not that well.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching TechMD YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. I have my daily things going on of different activities that I do. Like yesterday, I went to Utah Grizzlies. It was fun. But anyways, if you guys would like and subscribe, great. As all you naysayers out there, please let me know what I did wrong so I can improve. That is why I make these videos. The second reason why I make these videos is to obviously help teach my techs on how to fix phones. So, once again, I really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. That's always helpful. Thanks for watching.